Traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. Guys, as you're seeing from the thumbnail, we are bouncing back in good fashion from our red day yesterday, guys. We traded a couple of stocks, man. Let's jump right into it. Hit that thumbs up. Let's just jump right into it. We traded a couple of stocks. We did all right. XPEV and TOPS were the two hot stocks today. I mean, TOPS really took off, and I could have done so much better on this stock, man. So much better. In fact, whilst it was being called out around 11:53, 11:55, I was still trading XPEV around this time of day. Let's see, 11:53, 11:55. Yes, there were still trades coming in here around this time. And so right before this one had this big wick, I was still going for trades. And so TOPS, I wasn't quite situated to capture the earlier moves for this high of day break here over the level of 306. Now I pulled it up right around 56, so right into this candle at 57, and we had this wick down 03. In fact, right after it made this bottom is where I pulled it up, because I remember missing the trade. Yeah, I missed the dip. It's like I needed to just be like 10 seconds earlier switching over to this stock. And I would have been in there. I would have been in it. But it was mentioned that it was light volumes. I wasn't in any rush. I was, still taking my time with the rest of my analysis on XPEV. But boy, did this thing take off. And guys, I was up 250 on this stock. I was up 250, and I missed a trade by a penny. By a penny. We'll get to it. So it's pushing up. First I start off with some small size. Only 500 shares because it was so extended. It rips up to a high of 70. It dips to 350, and I'm considering adding into it if it breaks the half dollar. Buy, go up to, 1500, 2K. It doesn't break. It actually held super well, and I sold early. I'm in at 51 out of 58. This candle ends up getting a high of 92. So it shows you how aggressive this stock was. If I was holding on this stock like I was the other one and was actually using size, I mean, this itself would have been doubling the day's gains or more, maybe even more. Yeah, it went to 92, and then it rips to 410, right? We do have a dip in there to 80, but when you go so aggressively from 450 up to 90 and we pull back just 10 cents, it doesn't quite feel like a pullback. And then it rips again to 435. Absolutely incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. Right here I bought $4 as it pulled back. Not quite. We had a low of 93. It pulls back all the way to 83. I got chopped out in some of these trades here. And then finally we had a low of 87 and 82. So 82 ended up being the bottom here. I got in at 84, 89, and 89. And let's see, did I hold long enough? What is the question? So I came out at 08, 06, 99, and 99. And what is this? Only about 600 shares, 700 shares. So I sold half very early and didn't really get to see a lot of gains. I sold half at 88, it looks like. So that wasn't the best. That wasn't the best sell. But anyhows, I wasn't going big on size because of how aggressive it was. I did have a cushion on the day, but I was still trying to be cautious and respect the range. If I'm to catch the earlier trades, and this is how it's different. This is how the day goes really well for you. Like I said, I missed this first trade by a couple of seconds, right? If I'm to catch this, if I'm in here at 03, the very beginning of the move, and you got to remember, this thing is coming out of the first setup, right? This is essentially the first setup I would have witnessed. High of day break at 306. More than likely it probably would have been in with 1500 or 2500. One out of these two. More than, I would say, high percentage chance. Probably 15 to start. But what really happens is if I'm in at 04, 06, 05 and I get that first 20-cent trade, it becomes different. Now I know what the stock is capable of, and now I have a cushion. Like, everything is now aligning and telling me to be aggressive. Versus you miss that move, you come in at 50. you're on your heels. Like the train has kind of left the station. You don't know how far this thing will go because the market hasn't really been hot. You know, we had Monday a very hot day, but then look at yesterday, very slow. So it was hard to really gauge, but it kept going. And so this was my final trade. I made, so I was up 250, right? I was up about 250 right here. And then I took my last trade. So let's see, I'm in here around 1209 at 16. Was this a winning trade? Let's see, 12. Come on. Give me that, give me, what time is this? 10? Hold up. Where's the move? Let's zoom out a little bit. Where is that move? I'm in here at 16, 1500. I'm out. Let's see, not yet. Okay, this one, here we go. An 09 is, wait, which one is it? Jeez. 1210, 1209. You know what? I'm just gonna go to the monitor screen and make this easier on myself. Let's go to 1209 on the monitor screen. This is the way to do it. No confusion. Jeez. Okay. Okay, here we are. Here we are. So, you know, we had some small trades. Like you can see, my share size is very small. I'm back in at 84. I'm out at 99.06, and then even at 30. I mean, oh my goodness, look at this trade. This is a beautiful trade, but you know, it's just way too small of size. It seems like I was in on the dip here. Okay, I remember I'm in at 89 on this pullback, right around 1207, and it pushes up and then it pulls back again. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sell half and then average it a little lower just to reduce risk. And so I was in 1,000, and I sold half at 99, and I sold the rest up at all the way up to 1414 and then 1430. But you know, imagine this with like 3,000, 4,000, 5, 6, 10,000 shares. You know, and I'm selling 5,000 at 99, and then selling the rest up here, going through to 14 and 33. You know, I mean, what an incredible trade. It's a 50-cent trade at the highs. So I'm back in at 17 out of 20. And then it looks like I took a loss here, getting in at 6, getting in at 12. It looks like I'm trying to buy a dip here. But, you know, the second order is a little higher on the fill, which is ridiculous. 17 from 12. So we take a loss right there. And this is where we ended up stopping out before that big breakout. Okay, so we're in at 12. So look at this, right? This is the big trade here. This is the big trade. We're in at 1210. And at first we're a little panicky, right? We're in at 1210 around 405. This is right here. So we got a high of 36. It pulls back here to a low of 94. And this is where I start to take the position. So I'm in. I know the low is at 94. So once it comes down to $4 and I think it's going to crack below, I stopped out. Then I'm like, you know what, man? Let's just hold this position. And I finally get back in 1,000 shares at 401. And I'm in for 1, 2, 3 minutes. And then I sold at 403 because at this point we had a high of 413. It goes to 413 and it pulls back down to 4. Red is hitting the bid. Red is hitting the tape at 405, 404. I'm like, nope, I'm going to cut it here, take the 3 cents. And if it flushes below 4, I'll buy back. What did it do? It stopped exactly at 4 at the moment I sold. And this is probably with like 15 seconds left in this candle, right? And then on the new candle, green immediately, and it rips to 460. Guys, I don't think I would have made over 50 cents because once I saw 46 on the ask, and the bids caught up very quickly. It rips then to 54 and then 58. I'm pretty sure I would have gotten at minimum 40 cents on this trade. And at this point, as I mentioned, I'm already up 250. So we could have made good money here. This would have pushed us up to 600. And this is just with the small size I'm using, you know. Looking back on it, should I have been more aggressive? The answer is yes. But ultimately, I thought that I played it the right way based off of missing the first couple of trades and those type of things. But anyhow, if this works, if I'm not out of this trade, we're up 600. And right here, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little frustrated, a little FOMO, and I bought this dip aggressively. You can see before I'm buying 1,500 shares, 500 share blocks, and then trying to add. I got so aggressive here that I was buying 1,500 shares every time, and being that it kept going lower, I went from up 250 to red 40. If I catch this trade, more than likely, I was kind of triggered because I know how close I was. More than likely, if I catch this trade, even if I'm aggressive at 1,500, after the second loss and I go from like 6 to 4, more than likely I say, hey, let's wait on this pullback and not be too aggressive. I didn't do that, and it pulls back all the way to 404. I thought this was pretty weak, and it was. It got back to 52 though, and then sold off. This was pretty weak. Whenever we break out like this, what is the point? What is the sense? It doesn't make any sense. We go up 60 cents to come back down 60 cents. What's the point of that? If we go up 60 cents, and let's say we hold, let's say the stock holds up at like 30 or like 40, 50, like if it holds here, and then can we get another green candle to make a new high again? Not going up 60 cents to come back down 60. I never, whenever this happens, I always take losses. So that's why I'm saying I think I would have had the losses, but at least I would have been able to say, okay, but I was kind of blinded. I was just feeling so aggressive because I missed a move, and like I wanted to get green, like bigger green, and I gave back the 250. It looks, looking back at it, it's so silly because I could have walked away with like 150, 180 in gains, but here I am red on the stock. Trading is just this fine line, man. It's just so, the difference of being red and green is so small. Anyhow, so moving on, 11 minutes. It's a pretty hefty first review. Another 10 minutes here for the main stock, and we'll shut it down. So XPEV, Sir Clive, this is for you. By the way, guys, you can become a member, right? You can hit that join button down below, and you guys will have access to all my level 2 recordings. I'm not going to be showing these too often. Sir Clive, this is for you because you asked. I wasn't planning on showing it, but you asked for this one, so make sure you hit that thumbs up and let me know down below if you're watching. So Sir Clive asked to show level 2 on this thing so we can get a better understanding of what I was looking at. So I pulled it up. This one was on the Momo scans, right? But the gap scan today had a lot of cheaper stocks leading the way, and so I didn't scroll all the way down. I think this one was up like 20% at the time. I didn't scroll all the way down, so I didn't even realize it. And it was actually a pretty decent one. So it's called out in the Discord pretty early, and I'm like, okay, let's check it out. It had a high of 946, and this is pretty aggressive here, right? But at this time, I want to show you guys how the 5-minute candlestick is looking really quickly. We have a huge topping tail on the 1, but the 5-minute, guys, takes precedence over what I'm doing, and so it pulls more weight. We did end up with a bit of a wick, but I thought this was good enough to take this 1-minute pullback, right? In fact, at the time, I thought the candle looked even better than how it closed out there. But anyhow, let's look. So my first trade is going to come in here pretty early. I thought I would have took it already. I probably waited for it to come back down to like 08. I don't know. Did I? It's hard to remember. Is this muted? Yes, it is. Right, so it dips back down here to $9, and that's where I took my first trade. I'm in at 904, and I'm unwinding into the trade at 14, 19, 18, 18. So pretty good first trade. It rips up to 27. So this is a great. When I'm seeing this, I sold it like 17 and 20. I'm like, when I'm seeing that, I'm like, okay. There's 5. This is kind of dangerous, but I take it again. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take it again because we had such a aggressive high all the way up to 30. So I'm selling it early though. I am selling a little early because this time I'm in 2,500 to make sure we're good in the trade. I'm selling some early here, 15, 16. I'm all out flat just in case we flush down here. I'm all out flat. So I'm going to watch to get back in again. Let's fast forward. It dips to 96. I take 500 shares. I cut that. Right now I'm just trying to see where the low is going to be. Because the 5-minute candle, again, was still pretty green. Right? So I think this 1-minute pullback will work based off of the 5-minute candle and how it's looking with volume. We had like 11 million shares. So let's go back. This trade now, so it seems like I let's see. So let's watch. It breaks below 90 and it doesn't really flush. So I take 1,000 shares at 89 and I'm watching to see how well it's going to recover here. If this breaks below like 86, 84, I'm out of the trade. Let's say like 84, giving it a tight stop. But if it holds, I want to be in it. So we start seeing some green here. There's 95, 97. I'm going to sell half. And then I'm going to look to buy back once it does pull back a little bit, I believe. So right here, I feel like the pullback is holding. We have bottoming wicks at 88, 87, 85, right here in this range. So I feel like the pullback is going to hold. So I added, and that was a high add. You can see I could have waited for 88 right there. But I added into it 2,000 shares, 91 right here. My stop is right at the low of this pullback on the bull flag. And right now, it's like, can we curl back up? Can we curl? Oh, well, it looks like I stopped out early, actually. Well, I'm not too happy with that. Let's see how it played out. I'll stop skipping as much. So I sold 500. Did I stop out of the entire thing early? 9. I'm still holding 1,500 here. Maybe I stopped out break even. Yeah, I did. Okay, so I stopped out break even. But right, see, and this is exactly why what I did there is exactly why I'm saying I missed that trade just now on the other stock that went up 50 cents. Because what I'm thinking is that maybe it's going to actually go down to 84, 85, 88. So I'm like, okay, let me cut it flat and then try to get back in lower. But what does it do? It bounces back, almost immediately. And it's only a couple cents difference, but to go from 92 entry to now 94, it doesn't feel good. But this one does give me a chance here. So I take 88, slightly lower. Same stop around 84. You can see I'm back out again with that flush of red on the tape. And it looks like I'm going to get myself chopped out of the trade coming out too aggressively. I'm going to try it again. Looks like, let's fast forward for time. So I'm back in at 88. I'm still giving it a chance. And I believe right here is where I'm going to hold. Because I say to myself, all right, how many times are we hitting 88 and it's not breaking down? So I finally said, I'm just going to hold it. I want to believe that's what happened. So 93. I'm back in at 93. Fast forwarding for some time. I add 03. I added 9 actually. Break of 9. And I'm all out right there. That is a pretty early sell. Yeah, that is an early sell because it's likely we get back to mid-20s here. Because you remember that first high over here was 30. And this is why I'm buying it back this high. Because I still think it can get to 30. But it's aggressive to be buying back this high. What if I'm in at 11 and it flushes down to 9? It's like, you kind of take that loss. It's why it's better to be in low and just unwind. Even adding is like sometimes dangerous. Like adding is so hard because you don't know where the pullback is going to come. Like this could pull back right here to $9 and then go to 30. So what happens if I add at 9.18? Am I willing to hold it red? So anyhow, we start to build and watch this pullback here. Did I buy? I hope I did. Please tell me I bought. Please. Okay, I'm in at 9. See, and this is exactly my point. This right now is still saying that we should get back to 30 and then maybe high of day. But there's no way of telling where the pullback is going to come and how big it's going to be. Because this could even go down to like 8.95, 92, and then rip back up to like 9.15. And because trading is not 100%, if I add high or buy high, it's hard to hold knowing that despite me thinking it can go to high of day, there's still a chance it just flushes down. And imagine being in at 915, 2,500 shares, and we're breaking below 880. It just does not feel good. And that happens to me a little too often, actually. So I'm in at 9. I'm unwinding. I'm unwinding. I'm unwinding. It gets back to 30. And I'm unwinding. It actually keeps going here. So I'm going to watch for a pullback. We had a high of 46. It gives 29. I should have been using more size on this stock, man. Everything should have been 2,500 to 3,000 shares. If I was doing 3,000 share blocks, you know, for sure I'd have been up like maybe 3,000, 4,000 today, you know? You got to take the risk, man. When it's working out, you got to take the risk. So I'm in at 29. I'm up 10 cents here. You know, I'm unwinding at 40. I sold another 500 and I'm trying to hold the rest, but it comes down and I don't think I got back in. So you can see right here, I sold the rest at like 33, and this is the story of my life, that now it breaks out and I'm not in the trade with any shares. Looks like we had a small scalp in between there. This is aggressive. This is a scalp trade. Break of 50. I said, you know what? I'm going to take it. Watch this. Break of 50. Break of 50. 52, 52, 52, 52. I'm taking 52. Now can it rip to 60? I think I might have sold soon because it wasn't going fast enough. 57. Actually, hold on. What did I do? Did I sell? Hold on. 52. So I'm in 1,500. Oh wow, aggressive me. Look at. You see, wrong bet if you're watching, man. Let me know down below. You see, this is not good. This is not good. I should have been in 3,000 at 29, holding to 56. I'm taking the biggest, most aggressive position that I've ever had on the stock at the highest point possible. This is not good. This is not good. This is not good. Now, why did I add though? Okay, in terms of the breakout trade, like when the market is very hot, okay, maybe, but even then it's like still hard to really do. Man, I don't know if I like this trade. I'm in at 52 for break of 50, and I feel like it's holding really well. And green starts to come on the tape, so I'm like, you know what? Let's go to 3,000 and get this pushed to 60, 65. But and somebody can sell here, and this can easily just drop down 20 cents, and it's like I go back to flat instantly. It's not the best place to be taking it. The best place to be taking that 3,000 would have been down here with these bottoming wicks at 89. At 89 should have been that trade of 3,000. I sold half very quickly because I knew the risk was high. We do get the move to 60, but you know the risk was real there. So we were holding 1,500 here, and it's like, okay, how far will this go? I'm holding 1,000. It hits a high of 70. I'm holding 500. There's 74. I'm still holding 300. 79. I'm holding 300, and it looks like I sold as it pulled back. It made a high of 80, so I missed out on like 15 cents towards those highs. Or did I sell it? 67. So I missed out on like an extra 13 cents there, but that's all right. And so right here, I'm going to watch for another pullback. It hits 65, and it rips again. And I added for break of 8. This was an aggressive add, but look at this. So I'm in at 65,000. I'm going to add 1,500 here for break of 80. I'm like, if it gives this push, I'm going to add. Boom. 2,500. Big sellers. What is it going to be? 83. I'm selling 500 here over the high. Selling another 500 somewhere in there, or maybe more. And we're still going. My average is 78. It pulls back. It doesn't even look like I. Let's see. Did I capture gains there? 82. No, I did not. See, I didn't really get to see anything on that last 5,000 shares I just sold there. So I'm all out, and then I buy back at 79 because I realize it's not really dipping. And then I think we finally get the break. Did we get the break? Okay, I sold early. I bought back high 86, and I took a loss. I think that might have been it for the day. Actually, no, this thing's hold up. Wow. 68. I think this is where I stopped paying attention to it. Yeah, I stopped paying attention to it here. I thought it was done. And I did myself a disservice because look at this. You see this bottom here? At, what was this, like 65? Look at how well it held 65 here again. So I did myself a disservice, and this went all the way up to $10. But I think I lost my touch with it by looking away right there. And so I missed out too much of the move. And then over here, it's like, I think this is where I really stopped paying attention to it. And that was the day. Guys, if you want to see the live, uncut level 2 footage, as I mentioned, you know, being a member of the channel is the #1 way. Well, not the #1, but, you know, it's a really good way to support your guy here, RT. And all the free content that I provide, right? You can also do it and get some level 2 access, right? We no longer post any level 2 during the live stream. And even in the recaps, it's more rare now. You know, unless we get a special request from a guy like Cirque Live or someone else in Discord, we're not going to really be showing any level 2 data. It's just going to be strictly charting. But yeah, guys, that's the day. As mentioned, we really could have been around like 2,200. But TOPS, the fine line of being green and being red. The fine line, man. Fine line. And I did a poor job letting my aggression get the better of me on this backside. Just FOMO and frustration that I read the move so well. ABCD. This isn't picture perfect ABCD. Picture perfect ABCD. If you don't see the pattern, right, let me show you guys the W. Picture perfect ABCD, right? In fact, this is a great place to actually use my drawing tool here. Let's pull it up, right? I forget how you erase, but anyhow, was it Control Z? Yeah, Control Z. Let's get a bit of a bigger line in here, right? Also, let's use yellow. I feel like yellow is a little bit of a better color here. So yeah, the ABCD, I'm looking for a W, right? I'm looking for a W, and that's exactly what we get right here, right? The double bottom, which is this area here, is an entry, as well as the pivot point right here coming across is an entry. So there's 2 entries, right? And look at the W. Boom, 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 and then boom. So entry #1, right? We can make this a little bit smaller here. Entry #1 right here. And then entry #2 is this pivot, not in its first move up, but coming across. Entry right here. So I was in on the lows, man, on the lows, and watch the trades. So, you know, very disappointing. Very disappointing, man. This would have been the trade of the day. Rolex caught it in Discord. I'm not sure if Red to Green caught it, but we had a couple of people in there watching on, and it was such a beautiful move, man. Absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. But anyhow, guys, take it easy. It's been a longer recap, 30 minutes. Be sure to enjoy. Hit the thumbs up button if you're a new viewer. Consider subscribing. You know, we don't let the red days define us here. We do not let the red days define us. You know, we do our best to make sure that we try and keep things tight, relatively speaking. And I mentioned that the red days this month I felt like wasn't bad, right? In November, the green days were the problem, and today we're finally getting our second, like, solid green day of the month. We've botched so many of the other days, but, you know, we got to continue to trade like how I'm trading today, freely. I'm not hesitating. Wherever I see an entry, I'm just buying and taking it. If we have a red day, so what? The green days will speak for themselves, and we will be green bigger in the end. Ultimately, we'll be bigger green. I just have to be trading freely and stop stressing too much about losing. The risk is the risk. Accept it and just trade. I'm a profitable trader. I'm disciplined. Ultimately, yes, the red days will be bigger, but the green days will be bigger as well. And we will engulf those red days just like we did here today. And we'll have that, successful equity curve. Take it easy, guys. It's been RT, and I am, of course, signing out.